personally. I think it could also be support, but I think very few teams are running this hero on support. It's only like a pub thing.
This doesn't strike me as XXS hero. I'm sure he can play it, but during the last Blast Slam, he didn't play it. He didn't play it so far at EWC. And we've seen them utilize Largo from the mid lane against Lina, or was it the other way around?
Where did I see it?
No, it was their game where they played Lina and they were playing against Largo, and that Largo almost solo killed Lina twice. So maybe they think this matchup against potentially melee mid laners is going to be much better.
Yeah.
And also seeing that there is no Doom, maybe utilizing that part, seeing that you're not going to be... Because Largo teams are very, very good. I think Aurora is the best Largo team that we see. They play it from the off lane, but also some teams ran it from the mid lane, and okay, so that's going to shift priority.
Yeah, it was the matchup in the first game. Turned out pretty well, for nothing to say. He had a really good lane, really good performance. He did get a lot of help from his supports, to be fair.
They figured out also what NTS stands for in that first game. Nicely timed slams. He was definitely on point with them.
He really was. I think he was an impressive... Honestly, he's played 2 incredible games so far. Going back to his classic, I mean, at the end of the day, he was in TI finals in a TI where the meta was very much about Shaker and Sand King mid. So just going back to the old, you know, like what worked for you. Yeah. Don't divert too much. Create the meta. Will it be enough though? Hoodwink Shaker against Ember +1. I think also Nisha is going to learn from the first game. Definitely the kind of player to adapt very well to what's presented to him. So I'm sure Liquid is going to reassess what didn't work as well in the early game of game 1 and try to balance the matchup better.
Ooh.
Okay. This is very similar to the draft they had against Aurora, where they had a really rough start, but they were able to win the game nonetheless. I think they had Tiny, Mirana, and Earth Spirit. Maybe this is
they had all 4
at this point.
Yes.
They had Ember too?
Yes.
They had all 4. Okay, wow. It's a really good Largo Dane, though I have to say. I think the repositioning from the Lick is amazing versus Chain Stun, and there's lots of spells to dispel, like Earth Spirit, Ember Spirit, Vessel Buyers.
Are we surprised? I mean, I know Centaur was on the losing side of both games we've watched so far, but it's ignored so far. I thought it was still a very strong hero.
Yeah, this is probably going to be the hero that Liquid is going to be looking for. Horses in their logo. This is a horse, so it makes quite a lot of sense. It's also a bit of a say, like we've seen different builds now on Centaur. We saw like Ace completely dominating with the double heart. We saw Pipe approach in the previous one. So it feels like the hero still feels like super strong in this current meta. I also want to see how they're going to be approaching this, because Largo is not a traditional like pipe buyer. Like we are seeing offlaners prioritizing the item from the offlane, so thinking that there's quite a lot of magic damage. Pretty much all the damage that they have early on is going to be magical on Team Liquid, and a lot of damage on side of Extreme Gaming as well.
I would like to see Ame's hero here. I think that's how you get the value from that pick, like the closing pick into a banning phase. I wonder what he's looking at. Well, he's gonna lane versus an Earth Spirit, so most likely a weak lane and a pull wave approach from Liquid. So he's very free to pick whatever he wants, like in terms of like carry matchup maybe, thinking of how he wants to counter Tiny. We've seen some Naxes. Okay, he goes for the Draw Ranger. Classic pick at this point. Pretty good matchup versus Tiny. When you stop dying to him, the combo, the games become pretty much unplayable for Tiny, like, because it's really hard to tank up against the draw and just hard to disengage. Very late game oriented lineup, like Shaker draw, like the scaling is going to be crazy on Extreme side.
Yeah, I feel like if this game goes late, then there's no doubt who comes out on top. That's a little scary for Team Liquid, especially thinking about how the other 2 games went.
Yeah.
Can they go for an offlaner that would really set a tempo high, that they could end earlier and focus really on not going late?
I don't think so. With Earth Spirit in the lane, this is not a strong lane, especially if you remove Darkshire, and they are going to do it. So
they're probably going to get banned.
Most likely. I feel like Earth Spirit is one of the weaker position fours that we are seeing right now. Boxy, in an interview after they won that game, he talked about how the team let him farm for a good 10 minutes until a point where he got a BKB, he got a nullifier as well, making sure that they let him play the game, because this hero, like, it from position, like, even once you're playing the position 4 Earth Spirit, it still feels like you are getting quite a lot of farm on the hero, because you're using 2 spells to push out the waves. You can go for an extra wave, try to put maybe extra bit of a pressure, and go for some kind of a vision play where they are revealing heroes, and then you're getting out of trouble.
it's really funny how Clock is just ignored all of a sudden. Like it was first picked, and now both teams don't want to have anything to do with
You
it.
don't think Extreme might still want it? They're looking for a 5 first Nova.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I was trying to think what are the 5s available. Definitely a possibility. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's pretty good, if anything. Like Shaker is gonna love somebody creating situations for him, like starting the fight and giving him a little bit more freedom to pick his jump. The Lycan ban is pretty good. Like we actually didn't mention this hero, but one of the classic counters to draw. So that means Centaur is through the pool. I'm not sure if it necessarily fits Liquid's lineup. I feel like they could use a little bit more damage because they already have like a lot of control.
Yeah, I'm just for position 5 from Extreme or Liquid.
Position 5 for Extreme.
I was looking at his most played heroes. We've seen good amount of disruptors getting picked. Either that, maybe some like Lich if they feel like they need the follow-up damage. Okay,
Ooh,
so it is going to be Largo support.
It is a Largo 5. Okay, interesting. Or 4 for that matter. We're not sure yet, but I would say most likely 5. Like it's laning versus Earth Spirit, so pretty chill. Also acts like a front line for the draw on the lane. Interesting.
That's why they left Centaur in the pool. They didn't ban it out. They banned Lycan, which is still a very good ban, but also seeing the lineup that they had against Aurora, it would be the exact same lineup that they ran. So
Hoodwink Centaur lane, very solid, very strong, a lot of damage. Like level 2 power spike is pretty crazy. Mirana would die from full HP actually. So Tofu's gonna have to play his hand.
Does it change your opinion on the laning composition that Drow Largo is still going to beat whatever Earth Spirit is going to be mixed up with?
I think so. Unless there's like a niche pick that...
what about some...
We're
I'm
not
just
thinking
thinking
about.
some Enigma potentially that could come out just to match the team fight that they have and also to pull the lane back because Earth Spirit +1 melee, they can't really lane that well against, because this is a super strong lane, like you're just gonna get clicked. And we've seen teams approach in similar fashion where they can't really like lane, so they go back to some creep cutting, Lycans. We've seen good amount of Enigma as well from the off lane.
It's pretty solid. I think it lanes really well with Earth Spirit. I don't know if the lane is that easy against Draw Largo. I see angles for both to win the lane, but definitely Eidolons are gonna die to these heroes eventually. Scaling also, I guess it will give them a win condition. They go for the Timber Saw. It's a really good Timber game, to be fair. Like, besides the draw, like if think of the draw getting jumped also, or having to reposition, then the Timber is gonna reign supreme in team fights. I just think the lane is not the easiest for Timber against draw. It's not the easiest matchup, but you know, if they manipulate the creep waves well enough and Ace gets an early level 3, he could definitely run away with a very solid laning phase.
It's 4 melee heroes against Centaur, Drow, Earthshaker, and these are all 3 cores pretty much, so not going to be as easy. Frog Stomp, I think you're going to be getting quite a lot of value. Hoodwink, Break Mechanic, going to be good against Timber to try to burst him down. Liquid, it looks like quite a lot of damage. They don't have much tower damage other than Tiny, which is going to come online relatively quickly, but Timbersaw and Ember, you can't really make any kind of tower plays, especially early on. So usually high ground is going to be solely through Mickey if it comes to that point, but I think I'm going to give slight edge again to Extreme Gaming.
I like the Timber in the sense that it's kind of a counter to Largo because the burst damage is so intense that this like long fights doesn't really work anymore, and there's like so many stuns on Liquid side that whoever tanks an arrow or an avalanche with like Ember Timber, they will just explode. So I think Liquid is like, well, it's a very enabling, Mirana enabling draft. Like Moonlight Shadow is going to be very scary to play against when you play versus Tiny Timber, because like all it takes is half a second and you just die. And in that sense, playing the map versus Earthspit Mirana is not going to be fun for Extreme. So it's going to come down to execution on their side. If they can have a solid start to the game and group up before Liquid's heroes, you know, get their items. Because I think once Tiny and Timber get online, once they get hard to kill and they have enough damage to like burst heroes down, it's pretty tough to play for Extreme in my opinion.
Is this game going to last as long as the other two?
Well, that is an impossible question to answer. For the players' sake, I hope not. And for ours, well, I hope yes, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, we're gonna grab some popcorns, get hydrated, because it seems like with the game number 1 and game number 2, we're also gonna be having a long game number 3.
I'm looking forward to it, and we're going to have a blast, especially with the voices of Cap and SPG.
Too kind, Shiver, that's right. We're here for Game 3 of Extreme Gaming, and Liquid, the series has been a full banger so far, and all we hope is we get a suiting climax here in Game 3. But the drafts have changed, Avery. Has the momentum, has the tempo of the game changed? Are we going to see a 60, 80, 90-minute fest, or is this just going to be some good old-fashioned early to 20 to 30-minute brawl? Because that's what it looks like to me.
There's a lot of brawling in this game. Could be another sloppy one. I think the series, if you ask both teams, have we played clean Dota, they'd probably say no. It's been a messy series overall.
And it's going to start real messy with Mickey's blood all over the ground. He is going to give up.
Who do you give it to?
First one, and that is to Ame.
I think there's an argument you give it to Centaur there for like faster helm, because then you can accelerate the game.
And
but
somehow-
if Ame wants it, he's going to take it. You can't refuse him.
Nothing to say he wasn't there for the kill, which obviously mid laners usually won, and yet he still found something. He found Boxy's courier, which I didn't see.
An early sacrifice to the blood gods.
I guess so. There was already enough blood on the deck, but apparently they needed just a little bit more.
Boxy's courier has a rough life, being thrown to the wolves. This could be a very bloody game. This is a lineup from Liquid that we saw them play.
Ooh, Tofu with the quelling blade. Not to
Very
be
nice.
caught unawares.
We saw them play this exact type of lineup the other day with the tiny Earth Spirit Mirana Ember combination. It was a different offlaner for Ace, but functions is going to be the exact same here. That is a huge amount of chain stun, huge amount of pick-off potential, big threat across the map very quickly with the mobility here. Could be difficult to shove the waves out. That was the biggest issue in the game. You just couldn't get the lanes in, as Ame's going to take an arrow to the knee, but he will still get through the gate here. So that's the concern for XG. Like, how do you play the map? How do you not feed bad kills and then just have that momentum build really quickly? Lanes don't really matter for this kind of draft for Liquid. They just need levels. They just need to get to the part of the game where they can start rolling on people. Tiny can enter the game. If you get Blink Dagger on Tiny, you get Shadow Blade on Tiny, you get a Vessel on Ember, you're just running at people. This game can snowball really quickly. So if you're XG, you need to get as much out of the laning phase as you can, slow this lineup down as much as possible, and get the lanes in safely. I think it's a game you definitely want Helmet Dominator on Centaur just for the lane pressure, so you don't have to show. And you want to get really fat on this Drow so you can start to have a presence in this game outside of just being a meat body to get rolled on. Because there's a lot of heroes that just roll in from this Liquid squad.
Yeah, you say lanes won't matter as much for Liquid, and it's a good thing too, because aren't they set up to lose all 3 lanes potentially? Not by
Very
like
likely.
a massive amount, but I feel like every single one has an edge for Extreme.
For sure, it's a pull lane top with the double melee against the Drow. The Shaker's going to win mid against the Ember. NTS had a nice time in that in game 1. And the Centaur should do completely fine down here against the Mirana support. So I do expect XG to have a better time here in the first 10 minutes. But again, I don't think this Liquid draft really cares too much. They just want to get levels. If anything, I think they'd be happy trading some net worth to win the Wisdom Shrine exchange. Just pump these heroes up. They can play through Ember. This draft will look great. And we saw what the Nisha Ember can do.
This is annoying, man. Quelling Blade plus Tree Throw for Mickey. A Quelling Blade on the Mirana. Like, they're just going to cover each other. Unless you get both in a Bushwhack, the Bushwhack's never going to last for long.
Start with Centaur stun, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
It's another option. I like seeing the Shaker come back. I think ETS performed on it pretty well in that game 1, and it was a solid answer to the Ember. He had a good time with it. And they didn't end up winning that game, so I guess you could say, you know, why fix what's not broken here?
I would say Nisha had, it was rough for him in that Ember Spirit game. He started off in a position where he's losing lane against the Earthshaker, and I think he did what he could on the hero, but ultimately wasn't able to accomplish much of what he wanted to, which is assassinating those supports.
He
Think he's
eventually
gonna have
got there. It's just
easier time in
delayed.
this game?
Maybe. Largo's a weird hero for this Ember to play into. So if you get at least a 1 item and you're a little tanky, it's a very hard support to assassinate with the constant dispels and how tanky you can be. I do like the Largo into the Ember matchup. The Hoodwink you should be able to catch. As nimble as Hoodwink is, Ember is one of those heroes that can just slice him down. You have infinite chase. And having a pretty good time here in the second half of this early lane phase. Winning the regen trade, at least, even if NTS is winning the CS battle.
Yeah, I wonder what changed, because we saw it in the first half of the laning phase. He was doing a lot of harassment to nothing to say, and did what he could, and then the bottle comes in and everything changed. Now Nisha is keeping up the pressure post-bottle.
NTS committed a decent amount of the echo hits into some extra denies, which is why his CS is looking hot, but that does mean Nisha got some favorable trades out of it. If he gets the 4-minute water rune, he'll be safe here. Nisha might call for this to get denied. You could rotate a support over and try and take this away from NTS. It would be a big victory. Or you can glyph and dive him here. I don't know if you can snag this kill, though. You just don't have the resources for it.
Well, another wave is coming in. Here comes the Hoodwink, though. Trying to secure that water rune. Nisha might still be able to take it. He doesn't want to take that 1v2. Might slight steal it. Ooh. Steals it away from nothing to say.
That's huge.
And he's going to get the one on the other side, too.
Nisha, Dota. You got to go to base now if you're NTS, so
yeah.
He'll miss maybe a half to most of that wave. Big setback, especially since you pulled FY. It's like, feels bad.
You got the experience lead off of all these denies, but now it's going to go back to even, right?
Should. 3-level experience lead for XG, but I mean, it's lane phase, so what does that really mean? Continuing to pull waves top. They've done a decent time dodging Ame up here, who did have that first blood gold. Very fast treads for him. And he is quite scary against these melee heroes. If you end up in a chase down situation, you're just dead. So you need to be careful that you don't waste the Timber Chain, waste the roll in a bad situation, feed an extra kill up here. And look towards that 6-minute power rune. It's going to be a big one for these two mid laners.
And same goes for the Wisdom Shrine soon after, right? Ember Spirit is very good at playing on the enemy side, so it's something Extreme Gamer going to have to play around here.
Now there's that chase
down. Finally, Boxy will be punished for all this lane pulling. You knew it was going to happen eventually.
I felt someone was going to die up here at some point. Like, you have an early boots on the Larg, you have the early treads on the Drow, too much early gold injection, and just too easy to run these heroes down. You're not worried about any sort of threat turning that play around. Strong start for the lanes here for Extreme Gaming. Not as good on this mid as the game one. I think that's something Liquid can look to play around a little bit more, because they got bodied in that mid lane.
Avalanche into roll into arrow. Nice chain stun combination. So you kill Boxy. Well, guess what? That's an opportunity for Boxy to rotate to another lane. Gets the kill on bottom, and now him and Tofu can make the move to the power runes in 20 seconds. There's that catchy lick counterplay.
Surprised they had enough damage for that. Tiny getting the job done here. Some extra nuke power. FY getting stacks up, looking for contest. They're going to contest top as well. Everybody wants this rune, and you're not going to slight take it a second time, NTS. Knew what was
back
coming.
in Nisha, who's still level 6. Fisher's going to block him out. He activates the Flame Guard now. He's got a Fairy Fire, but man, he's just been body blocked so heavily, the physical damage might be the end of him. Another Enchant Totem, trying to dodge away from that one, get hit by the stun, and there's the finishing blow. On the other side, the two supports did play up against FY in a 1v2, so they got that support kill, but obviously much better for Extreme Gaming.
Oh yeah, especially since it was a regen. You just have to come back to full here. At least you got the Remnant out, I guess. You can just Remnant back in.
Yeah.
Saves Nisha some time, but not what he was looking for on that exchange. And FY did get the stacks up on the triangle. So you could have this nice epicenter, or not an Echo Slam. Still thinking about Sanking here.
Yeah.
Oh, or you can use it to steal some stacks, potentially.
Yeah, and Nisha now has to clean up this mid-wave, which means a free opportunity for Extreme Gaming to go.
He still has TP, though.
Take the Wisdom Shrine. Yeah, he can be here. Liquid are going to spot it early. Ace on the run. Bushwhack pulls him back in. And a Fisher chain stun. He's going to try and Timber Chain with their Echo Slam to ensure it's now on the other side. They do have a 2v1, the two supports, but XXS is a tanky hero to bring down. Extreme Gaming can get both here. XXS by himself was staying alive against the two, but with the rotations coming through, Extreme Gaming
almost got the lick. That's a big win for XG. I think that was the biggest objective for me. For Liquid in this early game.
Right.
I talked about the importance of the XP, the levels on these heroes. They get neither. That just really, really slows down your entry into this mid game.
Yeah, the best support to get level 6 in this game has got to be Hoodwink, right? That's a game changer.
Oh yeah, you got a fast sharpshooter in here. You're going to start bringing some of these cores down. That slows the game down even further. Stacks are still going to be built up here. So all eyes on maybe 8 and 10 minute power rune. Try and get something good for this Ember, haste or an amp damage or something that you can run into this Shaker with. If you let Nothing to Say get some cheeky kills with this Echo Slam and he gets to reset the cooldown for free, not going to feel good about it.
Well played. An early bushwhack stops him from being able to go for the slight steal. And then they also killed the Flame Guard, and now they're going to clear through the stack. Ooh. Easy for Nothing to Say.
That feels pretty nice. As Liquid supports, they're just watching it happen. I mean, they have almost no firepower right here. A very greedy support duo in some ways.
For sure.
Like, you need a lot of time to come online with this support duo. It will pay off eventually, but you're going to pay a big price in these early skirmishes. You're just food.
Catchy lick, now the Fissure. And Boxy kicks away, rolls out. Blood Grenade is taking him down, though. Tango will out-heal it barely.
Space created.
Nisha's doing the same of trying to steal stacks on the other side with this Flame Guard, but...
Look at the pressure going to Ace, though. Ame, so far, so high level. He's just tanking the tower. They're threatening to backstab Ace once again. This is a dead tier 1 at 9 minutes. They're going to glyph it. Okay, sure, but it's still dead here.
Yeah, this is great. It's before the Timber Saw is like a solo threat with his Chakram.
Yeah, it feels really nice to set him back like this because then you just can't enter the lane. You take his tower. He's not the greatest jungler. Like, this isn't the hero you want to jungle with. He can. But you want to be running at opponents. You want to be killing them with your ultimate.
Ame is relentless.
Look at him go.
He's going to let you farming over here, Ace, huh? You got any stacks? What's going on?
I like the idea. Continue to punish him. He's the lowest net worth core in this game. Doesn't have an easy way back into it because some of the stacks have to go to the Ember Spirit here. Just got to farm under your tier 2. This frees up some space for XG to get in the triangle. They can rotate Ame into mid if they really want to look for some early team fights. And where's the Shaker? He's very close to Blink. Has Echo Slam back available. Maybe they wait a couple extra 100 gold on NTS. Gives you a big opening on this mid lane. Ame's going to hang around. Look for 10-minute power rune. This is costing him a little time here. Could pay off.
Nisha activates his shield rune. It gets quickly catchy lick. Now he gets silenced up. Uh-oh. Nisha, he has a remnant out, and he only needs a moment to be able to jump away to it. And that is where Mickey and Tofu, they were set up. They catch Nothing to Say at the same time as Nisha comes back in for some much-needed experience and finish off those phase boots.
Now, what a turnaround. Just getting up that cliff meant all the difference there. And then you're able to burst the Shaker down before he pops that big wand, Fairy Fire. Still a couple hundred off the Blink. Nice turnaround from Liquid. Gets to hold this mid lane. If you lose heroes there, you can just lose this tower off the catapult timing. Or at least it's going to take a lot of damage. At least you get the arrow here for free. And you get some experience for your supports. Super important here. Look at all the deep vision. Tofu's trying to free up this camp, but they got some nice wards around top that Ame can continue to play aggressively around. And the stacks are still being built up a little bit here.
And we've heard the players talk about the safe lane dominance. Now off laners currently have a hard time being able to play lane so often. And we're seeing some teams really try and exploit that more and more, right? Extend that laning phase, extend that safe lane dominance.
If you're extracting an advantage, why lead it there?
Yeah. Those kind of aggressive wards are designed to do just that. But at some point, you have to stop and think about the other side here, and that's what Ame's going to do.
Are they actually going to bring the Shaker bottom? He has his Blink going into
from the high ground.
He's still tanky, though.
He has a lot of armor, and Ame is in kind of in no man's land. A pullback geomagnetic rip plus nice Fissure block. That is beautiful.
They have no detection.
Still Moonlight Shadow for a while here. The Fissure's going to expire before the Moonlight Shadow does. So Extreme Gaming get nothing for that. I can't believe that Liquid just not even blinking at these moves. No attempt to try and almost got it off the catchy lick. Now the catchy lick has been used. Nisha's like, okay, well, now Flame Guard and my haste rune can go uninterrupted. The problem is damage over time. A little tough to kill Largo quickly. They do manage to get in the end, but the Echo Slam response. Now the Bushwhack. Beautiful stuff. Nisha, though, survives. He had enough HP and a remnant out.
And a haste rune. If he was ever at risk of dying there. Nice turnaround kill from NTS. You get that bottom tower for free anyway, off of the cool Ame gate rotation, but that's a lot of recovery time for Liquid. I think they won that exchange overall. The Timber got the push out top, the Tiny didn't die. You got this Largo kill mid. You trade your Mirana, but whatever, right? If you're trading Mirana in the early game, you're kind of fine with that. This is going to progress the Ember towards either the Vessel or it looks like an early Kaya here. for Nisha. Doesn't feel like this is the greatest Vessel game into the early Largo Dispel.
That is fair. If you're already struggling with Dispels, why give even more incentives for that spell?
I also just don't think there's the greatest Vessel targets here. Like, yeah, it's good against the high HP pool, the strength heroes, but you don't need it to kill the Shaker. Got to play off the chains. More points in chains will also make this game a lot easier. Gives you more time to just land some follow-up stuns. The arrow, the threat across the map goes up considerably. Liquid evened out this laning phase a lot. I think XG could have found some more openings and run away with it, but instead, this game has plateaued.
Ace trying to recover his farm, but it's going to continue to be a bit of a tough game for him because Ame went Yasha and then rushing the Ags. So we're going to see those early hypothermia frost arrow stacks that
helps a little bit.
Negates the health restoration from Timber.
Mega fat. This has got to be his dream, right?
Yeah.
I get to play Drow Ranger, uncontested, absolute free farm, kills and first blood on top of it. What more can you ask for?
Apparently in mid tower, that's what he wants. He's
daring. This is
give it to him.
A very dangerous move when you're playing against the roll kick, the tiny, the chain stump potential into the arrow.
Between the leaps and the geomagnetic grip, it's very tough to lock down any of these heroes, in particular the Mirana.
They get the D ward at least. That's something here as they're sieging this mid tower.
And full control of the area leading to the mid tower off of Helmet Dom Creep, tanking it up. Ame delivering the damage. Okay, so all 3 tier 1 towers out. Extreme Gaming still holding all 3 of their tier 1 towers.
A lot of space to work with.
And yet Liquid are still up in net worth. Playing the map more efficiently. If Extreme Gaming, though, off of these objectives being taken, can close the map out, hold that 60-40 split of the map.
Well, here comes Liquid, though. They have their blink done on the Tiny, ready to rock and roll. Moonlight Shadow gives you a free smoke. They're just going to try and probably send it straight into the triangle here where they know some stacks are being built up.
Got to scan on to...
That dissuaded them.
Okay. On the high ground. Yeah, they don't want to stumble into that.
The risk of going in there is if NTS is doing big stacks and you jump into him and he just echoes you, you basically get insta-gibbed.
Sure, yeah.
It's a double-edged sword.
I could see it. You go for the Centaur instead, but he's got this Warpine Raider that really protects him because it could tank the arrow. It can't just
nice,
slight chains the arrow.
It's a big deal in a game like this. Again, you have to find cheeky ways to be able to shove these waves without feeding the bad kills. I will say I don't think Extreme Gaming's lineup uses these towers being down the best. The Drow has to continue to farm in safer spots. It's not like a really aggressive carry that's going to, I'm pushing in your tier 2 top.
Yeah.
Like some Chaos Knight wants to or something.
I think Centaur uses it decently well, but B, that's just
it's
because
okay.
He shoves the lane in so much, but this helps.
Okay with Dom. I think the thing is with Timber in this game, he can die.
And again, make a jump in initiation, and Geomagnetic Grip is there to save. You can definitely see Liquid is already planned out a very reactive game, and it's Extreme, where we're the ones who are going to be making more moves. Is that good for them, though? Right now, the Drow Ranger is so close to an item that helps him farm even faster in the Aghanim Scepter.
I don't know if they're making moves this game. I think this is a farm game for XG.
Yeah, okay, so another 90-minute game. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're in for the long haul here. Now, this game could accelerate at around the 30-minute mark for Liquid, like we saw in that other game where they played this pretty much exact lineup. That game was also clunky to start because the supports needed the levels to get going, but then once it started going, that game accelerated quite quickly.
Yeah.
So do not count that type of play style out. If Liquid get one pickoff in this game, it opens up a lot. You can just chain that into pickoffs across the map. Suddenly you get a team wipe into a Tormentor, some nonsense like this.
And they do have plenty of pickoff threat. They could do slight chains into arrow. They could do avalanche initiation into arrow. Timbersaw himself can sometimes get solo kills.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Gotta get some combo breaks in this game if you're XG. That's what I'm thinking about long term. Not necessarily like full Wind Waker Aeon disc. I think it's too early to think about that, but
some early glimmers and force staffs.
Yeah, like Glimmer is pretty nice, force staff's nice. The Lick replacement is super nice in this game to dodge follow-up stuns. A Gust Interrupt, like if you're taking the fight and Ame can join you, just being able to Gust Interrupt, Hurricane Pike somebody else. All these little things can make a huge difference against these chain stun lineups, especially when you show to push out waves. Like Ame shows mid, he pushes this wave out, X Nova's right there. If he gets jumped, you're going to lick him out. You can take that fight.
Look at the stack. An amp damage showing on Nisha right now.
This is really
Extreme Gaming are
dangerous.
super stacked in this mid lane. Nothing to say, might try and follow this up.
Oh, he
but here
got
comes
the
the avalanche
Largo.
initiation with a toss between the two of them. There is the bushwhack to stop this Tiny with the Echo Send. They throw everything they have at this carry, and he's still not dead. Meanwhile, Extreme Gaming have lost 2, and Nisha has a free game to play. He's going to run down more. The Magnetize, yeah, and the Boulder. That'll finish off another one. And Ace spots XXS, and Fisher slows him down. XXS, I think he's away. So 1 for 3 exchange, baiting out the Ember Spirit, and Extreme Gaming did kind of bite it down on that one. Mickey getting a free wraparound through the left-hand side thanks to a big smoke. They smoked on the bottom side of the map and wrapped all the way around to hit him from that angle.
Really nice entry for him. That's a bait by both teams. XG are ready to lick this drought out of danger, but Mickey, he makes an excellent play. Find the Largo, toss him into the same chain stun, get 2 for 1. Does pay a price with his life, which is big, slows this game down. But as you said, free fight for Nisha. You're always going to clean up here. The Ember will always give you that +1 kill. Delayed the Ags coming out as it got finished. Wall, Ame was dead. There goes his perfect drow game.
What's interesting is they didn't quite manage to get this tower for it, but Liquid is still looking for pickoffs around this area.
And here's where it can snowball.
That one.
Like, you start bleeding, and Liquid can just open up these wounds. Exacerbate your problems. The Largo can only babysit so many heroes in this game. And as we saw, that's not also a guarantee. Stampede can only bail you out of a little bit here. Like, you can't Stampede for someone who's chains. You need Lotus Orbs, you need Glimmer Capes in this game. This is where the game is really going to slow down for Extreme Gaming. I expect to see Liquid build a net worth lead here. The threat across the map's a lot higher. You have Mirana pushing out waves, farming the extra jungle camps. Did you just not see? Okay.
Oh, Mickey. He went around. If he'd just gone down the ramp, he would have run right into the Earthshaker, which would have been a dream pickup, because now the next stop is like picking off Extreme Gaming heroes and not letting them get to BKBs, right?
For sure. You want to abuse the fact that XG are not as mobile around
He
the
came back. He went through the gate, and then he came back. And now Mickey finally shows himself, sees the opportunity, and only needs a little bit, a momentary a pause for them to be able to get that kill.
And 1 turns into 2,
Even
turns into more. Suddenly Boxy's on a killing spree. The map is starting to feel a lot smaller. Great vision out right now for Liquid as well. This is the scariest point in this game for Extreme Game. They cannot afford to bleed too many kills in this time period. And it's very easy to bleed kills against this lineup. Another great rotation. They're going to find some heroes, force a Stampede.
Stampede to the run, but the arrow, beautiful setup right up the staircase. And Timber Chain to finish him off. Now XXS has already used his Stampede. If they can get close enough, Slight Chains, can they get close enough? They do. Now with the follow-up damage of the Timber Saw, it's made pretty easy. FY can do nothing to stop it. All he has is one more tree to the Whirling Death, and now FY is going to die as well. Harpoon tossed back in. Mickey, you already see Mickey with this Harpoon Blink Dagger build. You know what he wants to do. He wants to toss heroes back, pick them off one at a time.
XG not respecting what's happening around the map right now. Getting caught in the Liquid chase down. This is exactly what happened in the previous game they played this lineup. You cannot bleed bad kills. Liquid are going to run the entire map. This lineup has infinite chase, infinite stun, infinite catch. Yeah, this could have just been like, I lose my shaker top, yeah, that sucks, whatever. Instead, you effectively get a team wipe here, and it's straight into that 20-minute Tormentor.
It's accelerating the game so much, this Shadow Blade is almost done for the Tiny after he just completed Harpoon.
He's a mass that's right in this game. The Timber's top network. After the roughest laning phase, just like that, was give Ace a little space. He'll farm his way back quickly.
Now he is still susceptible to this damage until he gets the Shivas.
This is a wild smoke.
Deep into it. Off of the Tormentor being taken. Now, not to go for the Timber Saw.
You're bringing Ame into the smoke. You better make it connect on something.
Damn straight. Mickey,
That's the best
that's
target.
a much easier kill for sure. He may have some armor. They do have the stuns. Apparently not enough to be able to stop him from harpooning away, getting some distance. Finally, they'll finish him off. But this took a long time to get the kill. And Liquid are throwing all their heroes around here. The arrow lands onto Ame off the chains. Fisher tries to stop these two, but they're caught. There's too many Liquid heroes surrounding them. Ame, they pop the Stampede, but Ace is there. Blinks in, Whirling Death to finish the job.
think you had to instantly TP out of that kill.
Yeah.
Again, you have to respect the map mobility, the chase down potential from this lineup. You cannot expect Liquid to just sit on their heels here and do nothing about their Tiny going down. It is a nice hero to pick up off the map. You delay the Shadow Blade, buys you a little space to push the waves out, but you're losing your Drow. So who's actually pushing these waves out? Not the heroes you want. You need Dispels. This is the biggest thing right now, to deal with the chain so you can at least reposition a little bit and maybe turn some of these fights around. Manta, Lotus Orb, Glimmer Cape, Force Staff. You have to find a way to get there. They have a single Force Staff right now in terms of total Dispel and utility.
Yeah, even like the pickoff game is pretty intense, but now a level 18 Timbersaw, level 3 Chakram with Link Shivas. Every fight is just him going deep into Extreme Gaming side, popping that Shivas, tagging heroes, stopping Blink Daggers, getting vision for the follow-up. That's going to be rough to play.
I think conceptually this is the game Shaker struggles in, because you're just not going to get that straight 5-on-5 fight you want with the Echo Slam.
Yeah, they've got 4 hyper-mobile heroes.
Yes, it's really difficult to get a clump in this game. It's very difficult to get the fight you want with Vision against Mirana ult. It's just a pick-off-oriented game. Shaker doesn't offer you that much single-target DPS this early on.
Yeah, maybe like really early if he had played off of the Blink Dagger and Chant Totem kills, then maybe that could snowball. But at this point,
Radiant are scanning.
he just has to get BKB. Same goes with Ame. This
They can just dive him here if they want.
Let's get behind the tier 2. They're going to run right into him. And got the silence on X-Nova too. Beautifully played by Boxy. Even if he does catchy lick and heal, it's not enough to save the Drow Ranger, but they made that kill that much quicker that now they can run down the Frog as well underneath the tier 3s. Nisha collects.
No response from XG. They're starting to recognize the situation here, which is like, if we get going on, just try and get the other lanes out. The situation is rough right now as Liquid just soaking all the farm up off the map. A very early BKB on the Ember guarantees you dives. Kind of look for anything, anywhere. I still do not understand how Ace is so fat in this game. But man, he is almost level 20 now. Great Timber game too.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
You're only really worried about the Drow, but you have displacement spells to throw this Drow into the Buzzsaw.
Has fallen.
Pretty surprised that Ame skipped Manta here. Feels like you
Dire's
need it.
bottom tower is under attack.
Just for some of the Ghost Shove and the Dispel. Feels really good here. I mean, the Dispel against the Earth Spirit's nice too. It's going to go straight BKB. It's going to be a while to get there.
If they get to that BKB window, though, a lot of the damage goes out the window for Liquid during that time.
It
right?
does.
It's like they have a ton of magic damage.
Assuming you get the team fight. Like, you
Right,
have to be able
you're
to
afraid
use
that it's
BKB.
never going to be a 5-on-5. It's always going to be
never.
some sort of Liquid pick-off.
You're never going to be able to start the fight on your terms. In theory, you're going to be afraid of showing on the waves. BKB doesn't necessarily help you shove the map because you're afraid of the 100-0 chain stun.
Right.
Would help you just force a Roshan or something if you have the confidence to do that.
And right now, with
I don't know about that,
11,000
though.
net worth lead, it definitely feels like Roche is more for Liquids to take.
For sure. They're eyeing it up. They might just do it here.
Dire's bottom
I do think that Liquid is maybe similar problem to the past. I don't know how willing they are to go get high ground against Extreme if their up is 5. Now, that's easily solved by the fact that they have so many ways to get pickoffs.
Pickoffs are the high ground for them with this lineup.
Right.
You squeeze the map so hard that eventually you get 1 or 2 kills, you go high ground, it's easy. You have tanky ass heroes too. This is a very tanky lineup. They don't have sustain, but they have insane just raw HP pools.
Is there any way that you, like, he hasn't completed Hurricane Pike. Are you holding that to go Hydra's Breath and have your eggs for, like, double up on the anti-tank?
It's pretty all in.
Yeah.
You have very little survivability at that point. Maybe he thinks he needs the damage in this game.
Maybe that's why he gets BKB. He's playing more for a stand-to-deliver style.
It's possible. And look at these heroes. You're going to need damage from somebody. Quick smoke. This
Smoke.
could land.
Yeah, hoping to catch something on the waves clashing together while simultaneously meeting Ame. Ame does get jumped here. Tried to hit him with the avalanche, but a force staff got away for the arrow. And now Liquid are a little bit outnumbered for now. They need this fast kill on Mickey as fast as they can get it anyway.
You just won't die.
Riding down in the trees, and they finally get him, but that's just the Aegis. And now they have to retreat. It's a stampede. Everybody out for themselves. Ame gets spotted. They got him on the avalanche. Foxy rolled past him, and Mickey delivers the stun that will kill the carry of Extreme Gaming.
The last guy you want to lose in that scenario.
Yeah.
All it costs you is a tiny Aegis, which, again, you're probably not forcing high ground with that anyway, so who cares?
Liquid playing faster and faster, picking up the tempo now, going through the gate, seeing if they can catch on the other side of the map. Nothing to say, knows when to play conservatively, though.
You can just park this Timber alone. He controls so much real estate right now. Ace just sniped him.
Oh, nasty.
1,000 damage instantly. A little extra from the Stormcrafter. Beautiful kill right there on that squirrel in his base. This shows you how little Liquid fear the XG threat right now.
Ace runs him over. Makes roadkill out of FY.
There's another force staff. It's a little something here.
Use as many as you can get. Octarine level 22. Timbersaw almost hitting that 20k net worth mark. Man. And he's going to get it very quickly off of being able to play solo on this side of the map. He's just grabbing a bunch of creeps. Meanwhile, Liquid are hitting the tier 2. Totally unafraid of Extreme Gaming.
And XG are afraid to get out on the map.
Yeah.
They don't have the vision anymore. They don't have the lane control. The second you show, you have to get the hell out of there. You just don't know where these Liquid cores are. I mean, they have 3 heroes sitting in their base right now. And we're 30 minutes in. Effectively 5. If you count this Drow running back to the base as in the base. There's a defensive BKB. This map is entirely the Liquids right now. If XG don't break this hold, they are going to fall massively behind.
And you said it early. Extreme Gaming had to get a lot off the laning phase and snowball that. And while they did get a lead off the laning phase, they weren't able to snowball it very effectively. Liquid draw things out until they hit their window, and now they're steamrolling the game. And they will have the net worth lead until Extreme Gaming basically wins 1 or 2 big team fights. We'll see if that ever comes to fruition.
They're going to get Ame BKB and probably just smoke out and hope that they can land this on something.
Yeah, you can't be locked inside your base at 30 minutes, right? That's just, you'll just be out-farmed.
Quick smoke across the map. They're going to send the Tiny in. Should find something here.
Yeah, spots Largo. Hit the stomp on a Tofu. Unfortunately, the multi-shot had already been used, and FY misses the sharpshooter. XXS is made a whole lot squishier by the presence of Ace. They're going to keep chasing after him. He's low enough, makes the commitment. Nisha got him. Now spots FY here as well. Tier 3s are no defense. The Drow Ranger is no defense. Liquid. They seem unstoppable at this point.
They're just breaking him this game. Look, he's just sitting outside their fountain. It's like, respawn faster, please, so I can kill you again. That'd be very nice, thank you. When you're scanning enemy fountain, you know you're in a pretty good position.
Dire's middle tower.
30-minute high ground. No Aegis, no problem. They get the glyph. What is the teamfight response here? They're trying to get a refresher on the Shaker?
Yeah, they're giving up the lane to get this refresher.
Is that even going to be enough damage? I guess if it buys enough time for the Drow to sit there and hit some people.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost more about the chain stun. Just allow the Drow Ranger. And if you do manage to kill that one person, they've got maxed out hypothermia stacks, then the burst of damage that happens off of that.
Dire are scanning.
Still needs more gold, though. That is a tier 3 gone. That's a glyph gone. They are all TPing top to kick NTS out of here. He still needs another 400 gold. The chase is insane. You might have to BKB TP here.
Boxy. Oh, if he got over that cliff there, that might have been enough to make it nothing to say uses BKB. It still is. BKB used. Mission success for Liquid.
Amp damage sitting in the bottom river as well.
Look at Tofu just immediately leaping to this point, knowing Extreme Gaming, okay, they saw heroes in the top left part of the map. They are going to try and push out to this triangle, and that might be an opportunity. Maybe an opportunity for a pick off an aggressive force step into Mickey. That was super sick, Tofu.
just controlling so much space on his own. Actually, you do not want to go up that high ground. Once more, I think they've been stuck in their base for at least 10 minutes now.
Yeah, basically.
They don't again, they don't have the heroes to push the waves. I think this was always going to be the problem draft-wise in this game. You did not gain a big enough lead. So now you're all in on this Earthshaker refresher. Just send it. You can't even get the gold. He's farmed like 1 camp in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like the problem with this kind of playstyle is you're all in when you hit that timing. But if Liquid just control the map for another 10 minutes, you're so starved. I mean, we've seen this happen with Falcons so many times. Some team is locked inside the base. They go all in for some sort of big item, big play. And if Falcons just never give them the opportunity.
Exactly. You don't have to ever give this Shaker a chance to Echo Slam your entire squad. You're continuing to build a net worth lead here. This is very efficient.
So Extreme Gaming, they have to take a risk. They have to go out there at some point with this refresher. Level 20 as well with the echo damage. It is a big burst of damage. Is it enough to deal with the Timber Saw or the Tiny by itself? Definitely not.
This Timber Saw's a heart and 4,600 HP. I don't. You could echo him twice. I don't think he's gonna feel it.
Here comes that smoke. It would have been perfectly timed 5 seconds earlier. Could have maybe gotten here with a Tormentor with some of these heroes already low. Would have been beautiful. As it stands,
still give him
Tormentor's going to
info.
die. They're going to get some heals up. Liquid don't go anywhere. Nobody TPs away.
Showed
They stay
Ame.
grouped up, and they're going to smoke themselves. They chase. Extreme Gaming. They retreat. Back up to the high ground. They know the positioning is so important here. Anything that could give Nothing to Say an advantage. They try and take the outpost, but they get hit by a two-man avalanche immediately from Mickey. It doesn't even matter if you hit the Echo Slam at this point in time. Ame is almost already dead with his BKB. A Harpoon pulling back in X-Nova, and they're still going to chase after this Drow. Range of the BKB expires, and Boxy kicks him to death.
Liquid just dismantling them in this game 3. Not
No
even
way
close.
out, FY. All the way back behind your throne. And tier 3s haven't even been claimed yet. And what is Nothing to Say to do, man? And the way that started was just so terrible. I thought they knew that Liquid was chasing after them, but they clearly did not.
There's a lot of little. If that's your one big opportunity to try and swing the momentum in this game, one, you showed the Drow clearing the wave, which they could have seen, and then you're double clicking the outpost,
Like, what?
which is telegraphing a lot of info. You're just assuming they're not going to notice this. You got scanned regardless. They're always going to jump in there. You can always just jump pop BKBs. What are you afraid of in terms of that turnaround? And catching Drow is just too easy.
Well, you got a flamethrower, a Timber Saw, level 25.
He's a monster this game.
A mid lane of barracks down. I mean, at this point, as epic as Game 1 and Game 2 are, this is going to be Extreme Gaming going out of EWC with a whimper.
They have a gem up now, at least. How many smokes do they even have left? They have one on the Largo. That looks like about it. Your best chance right now as XG is if Liquid force the high ground and somehow just botch that move and clump terribly. That would require a lot here. You always have that geomagnetic grip to bail you out of trouble anyway.
I'm surprised Liquid aren't just chilling a little bit longer. Get the
Set the
AC
timber up.
on Mickey.
Again, as long as you don't clump, I don't think it's too scary.
That's true.
You can't show the Drow to harass anybody. You're just going to get rolled on, chained, tossed in, arrowed. Not that slow, to be honest.
Nothing to Say. You be waiting for the rest of this game to find perfect Blink Echo.
Death by flamethrower.
Even just that Remnant is just annoying for Extreme.
There's BKB on the Centaur. They got the triple BKB.
There's jump forward on Ame. Forced to use the BKB already. Now Nisha did jump in, but they couldn't get the gust on him fast enough. So he didn't even have to expend his BKB.
Ame is just so terrified. If I don't instant BKB, I'm going to get 100 to 0'd.
Yeah. I'm surprised Nothing to Say didn't try for the Fissure on the Ember Spirit. Right? Like, you had to punish Nisha one way or the other there. Whether it was hitting the gust and forcing him to BKB, or maybe getting the Fissure, follow-up Echo Slam, try and burst him down, something.
Here's the real question. You have to smoke and contest this Roshan.
Well, you're kind of too late to the party here. especially if they're going to wrap the long way around, because if they go straight through, Nisha's here to block it, but they go all the way around, they're going to be too slow to get to the Roshan in time.
They're not even confident.
Aegis is already going to be here.
No BKB on Ame, no team fight. That is an easy Aegis for Liquid. They're going to get some more wards on top of it. Give the Aegis to the Tiny. He can go up the high ground now. And there's only one lane left.
Yeah, just get the AC with an Aegis. They can't kill you very quickly. You're going to kill the buildings pretty damn quickly. And you have an extra life to back it all up. And you have Geomagnetic Grip with the pull, the shard he has.
Of course. Always Boxy waiting in the wings.
Yeah,
Something goes wrong.
We saw it early game, but like mid to late game is where Boxy makes that super broken. He goes, he pulls you, and then he kicks you back. So it's like, they're dealing with two different kind of displacements here. They're dealing with Tiny offensively displacing heroes, and then you've got Boxy defensively displacing heroes, which is not the kind of game Drow Ranger wants to play.
Not without an Aegis, that's for sure.
No, definitely not.
Not 10,000 behind this Timbersaw.
And 30,000 behind Team Liquid as a whole.
There's your AC. Probably the last item you were waiting for in this game. He has an amp damage in the bottle as well. This Tiny is smacking hard. Send down that top lane. Force XG to team fight you. If you don't give him the clump, it looks almost impossible to win the team fight.
An early 6-slotted Timbersaw. And an AC Tiny timing with 3.5 minutes left on the Aegis is going to be one of the biggest power spikes of Team Liquid. Extreme Gaming going to have to find a way to hold here. Somehow the Guts timing was pretty good. He didn't want to use the BKB on Ame. And he won't have to yet. Catchy look helps him get out. So they got something, and the Echo Slam is going to be put onto the Tiny here with the Fisher hitting many of the backline heroes to refresh, and it finished off the Tiny 1. But they need more heroes off of that because that was just the Aegis. They expended every bit of Nothing to Say's kit twice, and they got an Aegis. They got Tofu too, but of the other real threats in this game, Nisha and Ace, they are pretty much untouched.
Unable to capitalize with the other damage sources. Might be enough to hold the high ground here.
Here comes Nisha. Oh, what a jump there with the Remnant. That's double support kills. And now Ame is almost dead off of Mickey's jump through. Nisha, very happy with that jump. He's going to get a buyback, at least one out of Extreme Gaming, and they're going to take this full lane. I mean, there's nothing they could really do to stop it. Nothing to say. He doesn't have the BKB, so he's being tagged by damage. He can't really get the blink in. Not that he has an Echo Slam anyway. Somehow XXS manages to hit a stomp onto the Ember Spirit. Couldn't get the immediate follow-up. And whether it's the flamethrower or it's the Tiny hits, one way or the other, got the toss back onto Ame. He force steps forward as best as he can. And a catchy lick to try and deliver him to safety. But the Barracks, they can't do the same kind of retreat. Nor can this Earthshaker. Once he's in, he's dead without his BKB. The buildings will not stay standing for long. Mickey with another beautiful toss back into the Avalanche off the buybacks. This is their only hope. They've got the hypothermia stacks onto Mickey. Building up. He got the BKB, turns back around and smacks down Ame.
Too tanky.
And that's it. Extreme Gaming are out.
Oh, what a series.
Team Liquid will hold on, survive just a bit more in this survival stage of EWC.
I think this is Team Liquid in a nutshell. They can have a rough tournament. They can have a rough meta. They're trying to figure out their hero pools, trying to figure out the draft. But when the lights are brightest, they just turn up as players. They make big plays. They make clutch plays. They're always that little HP ahead, little team fight ahead. One little clutch play here from Mika, and all of a sudden you're winning a series that might be the start of a pretty long bracket run here for them, right? And they gain some momentum. They're a scary team to face these elimination matches. I don't even care how bad the meta is. They just seem to have some clutch gene when it matters. And that said, I think XG had a rough road of it. All right, they started to figure a little bit out in this series, especially that game one. I think they played her on NTS the best of any game we've seen. But ultimately, they just couldn't put it together for this event. And it does leave a lot of questions like, what is this XG squad going to look like when it comes to TI in Shanghai? Because if they can't put it together here at EWC, you don't have a lot of time to figure that out for the rest of the season.
And the next round is going to be super fun to watch because, I mean, would you agree with me to say that Liquid and Team Spirit are the two teams that have the highest variance and highest ceiling sometimes when it comes to this playmaking in-game? As you said, I feel like both those squads are teams that just can turn it on, right? And be the 100%. TI champs that they've been in the past.
100%. Spirit definitely showing better form right now. That goes without saying. They're the scarier team. But I think Liquid has the potential to play the fastest of maybe any team.